So let us continue on and focus on what Ellen White said. You are giving a wrong mold to the precious and important work of God. Keep within the bounds of the Bible. Take Christ's lessons and repeat them over and over again. She said they were teaching and advocating strange doctrines. She said, when human beings receive holy flesh, they will not remain on earth, but will be taken to heaven. While sin is forgiven in this life, its results are not now wholly removed. It is at his coming that Christ is to change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body. Philippians 3:21. Ellen White said these ideas were presumptuous, and that in showing the fallacy of their assumptions in regard to holy flesh, the Lord is seeking to prevent men and women from putting on his words a construction which leads to pollution of body, soul, and spirit. Let this phase of doctrine be carried a little further, and it will lead to the claim that its advocates cannot sin, that since they have holy flesh, their actions are all holy. What a door of temptation would thus be opened. Second Selected Messages, page 33, paragraph 3. To argue against truth, or what we think is false, about certain doctrines that are true is not the problem. The problem is the wrong mold to the precious and important work of God. The problem is how do we live the truths that we believe. This is not to judge character and motive as per the chapter on the tares. God does not leave this task to us. The problem is, how are we individually living out the principles of truth we find in the Bible with the truths that we find there? There are many on Facebook, YouTube, or elsewhere who live truth and serve those truths as if they are really working for Satan or with the spirit of Jehu. But even in this, none of us are to judge character or motive. And if we do judge character or motive, we are also participating in the spirit and doctrines of Satan. God has not left us to judge character and motive. But if we keep within the bounds of the Bible, we will not be teaching holy flesh. We will correctly understand and teach Christian perfection and righteousness by faith. These are doctrines of hope in our Savior, who is even now pleading his blood in heaven for us. How serious this is that those who are teaching biblical truth about Bible prophecy would engage in this error of also combining those truths with the error of teaching holy flesh. Then Satan wins even more people. And Satan wins even more because people engage in fighting against the truths that are presented about Bible prophecy, claiming that those truths are the problem and claiming that those truths show the false character flaws in others. Those truths often are not the problem. Combining truth with the error of holy flesh is the problem, and this permeates many, not just one ministry, many ministries. But let us focus on remembering God's faithfulness. He is faithful when we are faithless, for he cannot deny himself. Let's focus on this as we consider the rest of what Ellen White presented and the truth of righteousness by faith in the Bible. So, reading again from Ellen White, She said, some who had engaged in these movements were brought to their right mind and saw their delusion. Some had been excellent, honest people, but they thought that sanctified flesh could not sin, and thus they had been taken in Satan's trap. They had carried their strong ideas so far that they became a reproach to the precious cause of God. These sorely repented, and some were afterward among our most reliable men and women. But there were others who ever after walked in sadness. We could not at any time make them feel that they were worthy to work for the Master, whose precious cause they had so greatly dishonored. So, did you follow this? She says, they thought that sanctified flesh could not sin. Some are teaching that sanctified flesh cannot sin, that if we're sanctified we cannot sin. This is an error and is Satan's trap. So, but also in this paragraph, these are honest people. Many people are honest people who are caught in this. So we need to be careful that we don't throw darts and call them tares just because other people are doing that and throwing darts at us. Okay? We need to be careful how we treat people. The next paragraph. As the result of fanatical movements such as I have described, persons in no way responsible for them have in some cases lost their reason. It caused mental illness for some people. She explains why. They could not harmonize the scenes of excitement and tumult with their own past experience. They were pressed beyond measure to receive the message of error. It was represented to them that unless they did this, they would be lost. And as the result, their mind was unbalanced and some became insane. These things bring a reproach upon the cause of truth and hinders the proclamation of the last message of mercy to the world. This is from Second Selected Messages, page 34, paragraph 2 and 3. We must be kind in reaching out to people who have had their mind affected this way. And we don't want to teach a gospel that would do this to people. That would be wrong. We must be careful how we present the truth and how we present Jesus. And there are many who are presenting Jesus in a way that can drive people